Hey there, YouTuber. So I thought I would take you along the ride for I look for 11th gen motherboard. And so this is kind of a, I'm going to teach you guys a little bit more about the 500 series motherboards. So, we go into Amazon trying to find 11th gen. It's it's a crapshoot. Their search engine sucks. You got to kind of pretty much know exactly what you want. Type it in. So you're not going to get all of the Z590s this way, probably. You're not going to get all of the H510s, B560s, H570s. In case in point, the best deal on one of these is not this one, really. It's the Gigabyte. And we'll show you that one in a bit. So here's the H510. Let's try and at some point I will give you guys a little education on the differences between these. Right now I'm just looking for a good price on one to open up. So that's really, this isn't the way to look for stuff on here. So let's start at the bottom, the worst motherboard tension, just like all of the other ones were, folks. When I say that, so what do you get with H510? Well, not much, not much. It will support 10th and 11th gen CPUs, okay? You do get a graphics card slot here, and it's PCIe 4.0. That's pretty much where it stops. Your M.2 is PCIe 3.0 or ultra fast, ultra M2, okay? What we're looking for is hyper M2. Now, RAM speed wise, some of these you will find 11th gen will allow you to run a wee bit faster RAM. But overall, in general, it's for 10th gen, you're stuck at what the i5 was. i5 and below was 2666, i7 and above 2933. So H510 is kind of a not a great starting point, I'd say. And the how they have basically filled this with information about it is not very helpful either. You don't get, the nice display here telling you all about it. You have to go to the manufacturer site. So let's just not even worry about H510 here. You're not getting anything out of it, okay? I'm just going to tell you that. It's a waste of time. All right. B560, not 360. Do have one of those. Maybe more than one. All right. So 560, what do you get with them? Well, this is your first stopping point, and I don't know why I clicked on ASRock. But what do you get here, folks? This probably won't even tell you because their website's so bad. Well, maybe not on this one, but a lot of these you are going to be able to run overclocked RAM. You're going to get PCIe 4.0 expansion slot, and then you're going to get PCIe, if we can read what that says, hyper. So that one says hyper. If you look over in the big print, so that means you can run something like an EVO 980 in here. This thing would smoke, okay? That is a pretty awesome little powerhouse there all around, except for what are you missing out on? You can't overclock RAM. Or not overclock RAM. You can't overclock your CPU. The only motherboard that allows overclocking the CPU is the Z590. All right. So to rank these really, it's kind of like H510 is total garbage at the bottom. Z590 is at the top. Somewhat of, a tie between the B560 and the H570. But, a lot of times the H570 is going to be better. All right, let's look at this one. Now, this isn't too ridiculously bad. I mean, you can see how much more these are than than the 460s, but this has Wi-Fi built into it, so a little added bonus there. Memory speed up to 5,000 with 11th gen. Okay, that's another difference there. 10th gen versus 11th gen. 10th gen's gonna run at a lower speed than 11th gen. Okay, you'll find that as you're out shopping. You don't see hyper marked on here, which would be nice. Obviously, this is going to be PCIe 4.0, and this guy should be. It doesn't say. Doesn't say. Doesn't say. So you would have to look at the manufacturer site, but most likely that is M.2. That's PCIe 4.0. So let's. I want to get out of here, but I want to show you the one motherboard I'm thinking I'll buy out these guys. So we have this one, but the AC version, paid the same price, but you can see kind of, you know, everything costs more this go round. The Z490 AC version of this is pretty similar. I mean, it's only $20 more, but this is a really nice motherboard and not too ridiculously overpriced, to be honest with you. Triple M.2s. This has everything you want if you're going to overclock, right? So we can overclock our CPU. We've got PCIe 4.0 GPU. We've got an M.2. This is going to be your PCIe 4.0. And these only, from what I have seen, you only get one PCIe 4.0. So website is a little weak as far as letting you know what's what. Now let's go back. So that's a pretty good deal. Now the one that I want to buy, this is probably the one I'm going to buy for the channel, folks. We'll probably get this one. We've had a Z390, we've had the Z490, now the Z590 UDAC. Part of the reason I'm going to buy this one is less hassle getting it shipped to me where I'm at. So we already added that to our cart. We're going to buy it. Overclock. RAM speeds up to 5,000 megahertz. PCIe 4.0 M.2. And a PCIe 4.0 GPU compatible, right? So that's that. Let's go over to these guys. Newegg. So I've already been looking a little bit. So when you come to Newegg, we want to do Intel 500 series motherboard. And we'll just go ahead and do lowest price. Now, this is a pretty good deal, folks. Like I said, you know, you can overclock the RAM. PCIe 4.0. Now we'll open this up. 11th gen, like I said, up to 5,000. 10th gen, 4,600 plus. Then we come down here. Of course, this is ASRock, so it's a good price, but remember it's ASRock. Hyper. This gives you the M.2 that you want, and for your GPU, boom. So this is something else. Here's another learning point, okay? PCIe 4.0 times 16, compatible with 11th gen, 3.0, 10th gen, okay? Now, is that the case down here? Boom. Yes. This is potentially across the board that PCIe 4.0 only going to work with 11th gen. In case you didn't know that, you know that now. Okay. So it's amazing how hard it is to find this information, right? Intel has not just been spitting this stuff out like, oh, you have to get 11th gen. So I potentially would buy this for a future upgrade. And then I would skip all these. These are garbage. This one's actually not too bad either. This has built-in Wi-Fi, okay? Now, if we want to avoid that brand though, maybe you buy this guy that doesn't have Wi-Fi, but it's a better quality brand. And then here is our first H570. We haven't looked at H570 yet. This is a full ATX motherboard. You know me, I'm a fan of. What don't I like about this? I don't like the fact this does not have a built-in I/O shield. But you can see clearly there's the Hyper M.2 Hyper M.2 below this where the CPU goes, and then the Hyper PCIe 4.0 PCIe expansion slot, and then this one has you have 3 M.2, so for $109 that's pretty darn good. But of course, once again, you will need an 11 gen CPU to take advantage of all that. And that's probably the case with the motherboards I already have. It may not be worth my while to upgrade to a Z590 because if they ever get the BIOS update and I put an 11 gen chip in there, I might be golden. So potentially there's no big hurry for me to do it. Your Hyper that we talked about. So a lot of ASRock in the cheap low end, right? And then things just start to skyrocket. So cheapest Z590 on here is right here, $180. The full ATX. Let's look at this one. So some information there, a little different. These guys probably don't tell you squat. So there's something you got to know about your RAM. Okay. PCIe 4.0 by 16. It's got that with an asterisk. That asterisk probably means what? 11 gen. Actual support may vary by CPU, so you're not going to just stick a 10 gen Celeron in there and get any kind of improvement. M.2, same thing here, right? Boom, that asterisk. So that's how it rolls, folks. Hey, thanks for checking out my video. I'm now that I've looked at this, it ponders me whether to bother buying anything just yet. Because until you get the 11 gen CPU, which most likely is not available, right? Let's go ahead and see if there is any. Tell CPUs. And do we have is anything yet? So not available. It'll be really expensive, I'm sure. Hey, thanks for checking out my video. Please like, please subscribe.